With continuous embroidery, you stitch one design multiple times, either around a garment or down a border of a quilt. If your machine does not have continuous embroidery, you can use a feature in the software to create your own continuous embroidery designs. We won't be using the multi-hooping toolbox, but in this case, the design will need to be hooped many times. Software 8 has markers that can be digitized to help align designs, like you see here. There are also graphic markers included with the software if you wish to use the graphic markers for aligning designs. Both of these are found in the digitized toolbox down at the bottom. We're going to use basting stitch markers to align this design. You want to activate the grid. I'm going to right-click on the grid. I want to make sure that I show design grid. I want snap to grid on, and I'll click OK. Select basting stitch marker, and notice you have 4 types of markers to choose from. I'm going to select cross 2 and click OK. When I place the marker on an intersection of the grid line will change colors. I'm going to do 2 left clicks to set the marker and then press escape. I'll select the marker and then go to the Mirror Merge toolbox and select Mirror Merge Horizontal. I'll click on screen when my line gets to the center of the design and the marker is set to the right. Now I can select the 2 markers and zoom out. And this time I'll select Mirror Merge Vertical. When the line is at the center of the design, I'll click, and my 2 markers are placed at the bottom of the design. I want to select the markers at the bottom and change the color of the marker so that they're different from the first set of markers. Now we need to align the markers with the design. So we'll go to the Arrange toolbox. I'll select the first set of the markers, hold down the Control key and select the design, and then align top. Notice that the markers come down and align with the top of the design, and this happens because I chose the design last. I'm going to repeat that with the bottom markers. I'll select the bottom markers, hold down the Control key, select the design, and this time I'll align bottom. So now both sets of markers are going to align evenly with the design. And I'll use the markers then to place the design accurately to stitch down a border. We want this top set of markers to stitch at the very first of the design, and then the bottom set of the markers will stitch at the end of the design. We also want to change the start and end needle position. Go to Design, Auto Start and End, place a dot at the first stitch of the design and a dot at the last stitch of the design, and click OK. Let's take a look at how continuous embroidery is stitched. The design is going to repeat itself, but you'll want to start with the center design and stitch it first and then out in either direction. So whether you're doing a quilt border or a border around the garment or down a center of the tablecloth, you'll stitch the center design first. Mark a line down the center of your fabric along the length of the fabric to serve as a guideline. For the first file, it will be aligned with the center of the design. So you'll move the needle position so that it is exactly at the center of your fabric and stitch the first file. For each subsequent file, you'll use the reference marks that you digitized to align at the beginning of the stitch, and then stitch the design and then continue to work down your border. You'll switch your project and then do the same thing down the other side. The top 2 markers of each file do not need to be stitched. They are for alignment purposes only.